Hello again, my name is Liis. I'm from Estonia, from Haapsalu Vocational Education and Training Center. Our project coordinator, Heli Heimo, sends you kind regards. She can't be here because we have another visitors in our school this week from Ireland, and she has to be at school because of that. And our topic today is physical learning style. So, the learning style is the preferred way for the learner to receive, process, understand, and think about the information. This is a relatively permanent feature or an identifier. In Estonia, we divide learning styles into three categories. Basically, there are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic one. And the most important learning style in vocational education is kinesthetic learning style, or you can also call it physical learning style. And in the pictures you can see our students working in a construction class, in our school assembly hall, folding the napkins, and also our woodwork students in their practical lesson. So, kinesthetic person likes to move and be in action. Important indicators for the learner is the comfort, room temperature for example, suitable clothes and that kind of things as well. The learner likes to experience, to try before and then decide later after about the activity. Generally starts the task without really through the instructions. Rather acts based on his or her feelings, not on analysis, and needs time for reorganizing while switching the tasks. In action, they are mostly targeted at people, and the big need is to move for keeping the mind in action. So, for example, the wiggle, tap, swing, their legs, palms, and often just can't seem to sit still. Have an excellent physical memory. They learn quickly and permanently what they do as they are learning, and always want to try and experience everything by themselves before making the decision. Kinesthetic learners are defined as students who require the whole body movement to process the new difficult information. This type of students carry out physical activities rather than listen to a lecture or watch demonstrations. To recognize the kinesthetic learners, we have to notice some specific characteristics and pay attention to them in our teaching styles. So, here they are. So, kinesthetic learner prefers to use physical and emotional experiences for learning, needs to learn through action. For example, the learners who are willing to experiment, dramatize, event, shape, interview during their learning process. Is emotionally connected to what they have learned, and it is especially important for them to be positive about what they are learning. They may forget some of the instructions or information, so you need to give it orally. It is hard to concentrate on a task that needs to be done in writing and sitting, so they do not pay attention to details, especially if it is written. So, how to support kinesthetic learning and kinesthetic learners? So, for example, you can have with them a visit to historic sites and museums, play events and scenes, make models. And in the picture you can see a model that has been done in our science lesson. So, organizing presentations and replays, visiting places related to the topic, using the camera, video recorder, or a dictaphone. So there are a lot that teachers can do to support the kinesthetic learners. So, I would like to add that as in vocational education, almost all the studies are connected with the practice and real action. Kinesthetic learning styles are very common and used widely in teaching very different speciality. here are some examples. So also we are doing all those. And they have had good feedback in our school. Those kind of activities which support physical learning style can be used with teaching very different specialities and also in general subjects as well. So in the frame of the studies, we do a lot of study visits to the companies and museums, and these visits are related with the topic that are taught in lessons. So physical learning is also the practical work in the companies, in foreign placements, in international projects included. So in the pictures you can see our IT specialist students who have with Erasmus project somewhere abroad, not in Estonia. And in the middle one you can see a town excursion in our hometown Haapsalu, where our school is. So during English classes, the hospitality service students have to carry out the guided tour, history tour in English in our town. So they have to know the history and the sightseeing places, and they're acting like they are the tour guides. Yeah. And in the last one you can see our students are also visiting sometimes the beauty companies, for example office work students and hospitality service students, because they need to know how to look professional in their professional life after the school. So how much makeup is okay to have, and also what kind of clothes to choose, and how to make the hair and so on. Also we have, what else do we do? So study tours in the nature, workshops on garbage and environment issues, professional practice and tours for the nature guides. In the frame of the science classes, all the second year students attend the classes which take place in bogs, sand dunes, or in other different landscapes. And also we have recycling workshops, so they are making different kinds of candles, for example, or handicraft, using the used paper, and so on. Our school organizes lots of events like different kind of camps. So camps where students take part in activities to get to know each other, strengthen the teamwork, increase their knowledge on some specific topic, or spend the time in the nature. And here are some examples what kind of camps we have. For example, we have adoption camp. It is organized for the first year students to get to know their pre-students in September in the forest by the seaside. We have national defense camp, so it is mandatory for the second year students. It includes lots of sport and basic military knowledge. And we have English camp. It is language practicing in a real language environment with quests and multiple activities. So, events and scenes, what we have in our school. For example, we have open door days. This is like the day that is meant for the future students and their parents, or the teachers all around from Estonia, and also why not from outside of Estonia. So where they can get to know our school, our teachers, what kind of specialities we are teaching. And during that day we have many practical workshops also. For example, if you would like to study in the future in our school woodwork, you have the workshop where you can differentiate all types of woods by seeing the pattern of the tree. Or if you would like to be a chef in the future, so there has been a workshop like that you have to make a difference between different spices by smelling them. So taking care of the visitors, our students also take care of our visitors very often actually. And we are using office work students and serving work students in reception. So their task is to do the school tours, serve the dinner tables, help with marketing and design before the event, and this is also part of their studies. And we have a kitchen work. It means that every group has their turn in the school canteen. They work beside the cooking students and help with cleaning, serving, washing up, and preparation work. And I was also speaking about noodles, and the example is basically the same. So they are building in the science class different models and get to know the atoms and the molecules, how they look like. The full conception of vocational education is built on DIY. It means do it yourself. Every day the students do the real things using their hands and knowledge. We have also here an example video. I hope it works. Let's see. It is in Estonian, I might say. But it isn't important. It is important for you to see what kind of things we are doing in our classes. So I'm going to comment it a bit. So, for example, in the construction class, the students can find out which of those three mixtures, concrete, plaster or clay, hardens the quickest. They start with making the mixtures. They mix the ingredients in different bowls, monitor the process and take the notes and find out the answer by doing the whole experiment on their own. And in this lesson are working together two teachers, the construction teacher and also our science teacher. So explanations, what they have to do. And then later they start to do it. Yeah. They are mixing, and then I guess they are going to wait a bit to see the result. And the teachers are supporting the students.
Kips ja lupp ja. Mitte midagi ei saa selles suhtes, et lubi aeglustab seda kivinust. Lubi ja pulber aeglustab natukene seda kipsi kivinust. Hakkab ka valmis.
So pros and cons of physical learning styles. So the pluses. It provides more time, knowledge than usual teaching methods. Learning motivation rises. Strengthens the teamwork of both the teachers and the students, and also it gives to the both sides positive emotions, and also something that might be a negative, so it's for sure more labor intensive, and if you miss the class where every single step was done physically, it is difficult to get the same knowledge that the other students gathered during practicing in the classroom. For example, in the service classes, it's not easy to get the right moves, turns or folding the napkins just from the books. So used resources, these are also in Estonian, sorry. And thank you for listening.